Hey there, Bloomers and friends. Rev Kev coming to you from Bloom Central. You know, ever since I was a kid, this week was one of the most exciting of the year for me. It started because I came from a family of deer hunters, and this was deer season opening up in Wisconsin. And as a family, we would go down to the family homestead, family farm down in Buffalo County, traveling from Eau Claire, the 40 miles down to Buffalo County, to the Hickory Grove farm where my mother had her early years of married life, or early months, but let's not get into all the details. But anyway, that was the family gathering spot because the deer hunters went from there, from the farmhouse, out on the weekend before and the weekend after. And then in the middle of that was Thanksgiving Day, when everyone came in and we, at the noon meal, had the big feast. And it was a time of celebration and prayer and family reunion. And for me as a kid, and a lot of great food. And so for me as a kid, that was a real time of celebration and importance. And of course, I was taught the standard stories in elementary school about how Thanksgiving came about and all of that sort of thing. Little did I know that many years later, I would be a UCC minister and trace my denominational heritage back to the Mayflower and, you know, that New England colony and Mayflower, Massachusetts Bay colony and all of that sort of thing with the Pilgrims. And, you know, that would be a part of my adopted heritage. So I got my family heritage and I got my adopted heritage, you know, going on right now. The thing about that is, it is exciting, and then it's also sobering. Because if we really know the history of Thanksgiving, and I don't mean to be a downer now, but, you know, while it was a celebration for the white settlers, it wasn't necessarily all that great for the Native Americans, even though it is understood, according to the written document, that Native Americans came and participated, or at least showed up to that particular time. My understanding is there's only like one paragraph in one of the writings of one of the leaders of the Massachusetts Bay Colony that speaks about this time of Thanksgiving, because they'd actually had a harvest and felt like they were going to survive their second winter better than they survived their first winter. The reason that I just bring this up is that it's important for us to remember who is standing off on the side while we are celebrating. And in the Native American community, started in 1970 in the New England area. The North Americans of that area have created on the fourth Thursday of November a national day of mourning, because they mourn what they lost as a result of the coming of the white settlers with all that we brought. Changes in their lifestyle, the diseases, the conquering, the taking over, the war machines, all that sort of thing, that where we came, we destroyed their lifestyle. So again, I think it's important for us, as I've been talking about even here at Bloom, that there are polarities. We have the celebration and we have the mourning. We can balance that in our lives in order to have an authentic understanding of what the events of this week can represent. We do want to be thankful for all the people that are in our lives, that love us and care for us, all the memories that we have that have nurtured us along the way. We also know that this can be a time of sadness, not only for Native Americans, but for our family members and friends who have had moments of sadness in the past year, or in the life of our country, when we once again experience another mass shooting attributed to gun violence. And this time it hits pretty close to my adopted home of Chicago with the shooting this week at Mercy Hospital. It gets even really close because someone that I knew at the Broadway church is the head of the medical unit that the doctor who was killed is a part of. So these things are all up close to our hearts this week. Again, we celebrate what is happening and where we are, and we give thanks. And we also know that there can be times of sadness, but in our giving thanks, we can also make a commitment to do what we can to have the world be a better place, and we can be even more thankful next year. This Sunday at Bloom is Reign of Christ Sunday. It's the culmination of the telling of the story through the years. I'm really pleased that Reverend Dr. Stephen Wales will be our preacher this Sunday. I appreciate that assistance at this particular time in the life of our congregation and in the kinds of things that I've got going on in my life. And we hope you can be with us. John Gallagher and Mike Weldon will be bringing the music. It'll be a very special time at Bloom. We hope you can be with us. If you can't be with us in body, please be with us in spirit. And as always, please keep us in your prayers.